Hello, hello. No future. Are you with me?
Yes, I am. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing good. Doing good. Happy to be here for another Alpha Hour with you and all of our friends that are tuning in with us. We're right here at the middle of another big week as the Geist migration continues to happen. Right? I don't know the right word for that, but we are going from 0 to 60 with migrating everything in the Polygon or Aavegotchi ecosystem from Polygon to Geist. And so we got some big announcements on this hour that we can talk about and like clear up what's coming and when. And that way you'll be abreast and up to date on everything happening. So I know there's some movement with the Camelot decks, for example. We'll get into that and a couple other things on the Geist front in that migration. But yeah, as always, we invite you guys to submit your questions. Let us know anything that you have feedback or questions about throughout this show, and we'll address them at the end of the last part of the program. But yeah, no future. How's your week going? What's new?
Yeah, week has been good. Just doing the thing, watching the market, BTC at all-time highs, and just trying to keep up with everything because things are moving so fast. So it's been a fun week, but also a little tiring.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Got to have the hard hat on this week. It's a real work week in crypto. So hope everyone's having a good experience and riding the waves and not getting wrecked. No wipeouts. Easy on the leverage. You guys all know the deal. So what's your favorite? Before we get into the gotchi stuff, you're always good for some degenerate news or something that you're seeing across the space. Other than Bitcoin all-time highs again. What are you kind of excited or focused on? What's on your radar?
I've been paying attention because there's now a new meta of like TikTok meme coins, which is a weird thing to say, but like meme coins on TikTok that are like kind of people are promoting them. So like one of them, I'm not going to name the ticker, like blew up yesterday, and like in a good way. It just ran. It touched 500 million today, and we've seen some big brands like KFC retweeting and posting about it. So I don't know if that's a top signal or not, but it's like it's crazy to see all these new participants flood into the market.
Yeah, when the big like Fortune 500 brands start jumping into crypto. I mean, we saw that a couple years ago, and so I can't believe we're back at it. KFC showing up for, I think I know the one you're talking about, that chill whatever, right? That's the one. Yeah, taking the world by storm. Yeah, good. Well, we've been talking about getting a TikTok channel going for Aavegotchi, so maybe it's time, right? Maybe it's time to make that official and not just fan stuff. Potential there. But yeah, let's get back to this week in Aavegotchi space and what continues to be shipped here. So, what have you seen on the Aavegotchi front this week?
Well, one big thing is that Aavegotchi is doing a base camp by the Gotchi Farmy. They had done some stuff with Sandbox, so that is now live. You're going to be fighting liquidators and LFOs. There's 10 quests and 18 episodes, I believe. It's live now. There's a link if you find there's a tweet for this where you can see a video, and there's a exclusive VIP zone for Alpha Pass holders. So it's I think this is season 4, the Alpha season 4 of the Sandbox. So really cool to see a DAO initiative like extend and now be a bigger piece of the Sandbox experience.
Yeah, really, really happy to see this. Shout out to the Gotchi French Army who have been building this experience with Sandbox for well over a year now. They initially did the really nice solo experience, kind of the first time you could experience the Gotchi lore and the Citadel in 3D. They did that earlier in late last year. And then now it's evolved into this multiplayer experience. So this is the first time you can go in and have a competition in the Sandbox with all the Aavegotchi themed, competition. So highly recommend people check this out. There's, of course, play to earn rewards associated through the Alpha season campaign. But even if you're not typically in the Sandbox, this is pretty accessible. You just can hop in and have a go if you just want to try the Aavegotchi aspects of it. It's called Aavegotchi Base Camp. So shout out to the GFA fam and the 10 quests they've got live right now in the Sandbox. Love to see Aavegotchi's, multi-chain and multi-platform. So okay, that's a big one. There's a couple other. Let's just stick on the games for a minute. There's some other developments. Another community developed game, indie game that's really probably a fan favorite is Dropped. And Dropped made a big splash when it initially hit the scene last year. The DAO has funded it. They migrated to Unity. They've been doing a lot of stuff to get it ready for a Geist launch. And this week they published some big updates as well, right?
Yeah. Huge news. Give me a second. I have to actually bring it up.
Yeah. If we have any visuals of it, Goobs, we can show that off as well. Dropped is a beautiful retro dungeon crawler. If you're more a fan of playing with the pixel art and the kind of retro aesthetic, you may really enjoy this game. So they've got updates this week. We can just keep rolling here. We've got Aavegotchi as well, another game that's in the pipeline, on its way to Geist eventually. And this game's been in development as an indie title as well. And Aavegotchi is now in the middle of its November tournament. We are now in week 3 of the November Rewards Challenge. So again, there's actual ghost tokens and prizes up for you to take by just checking out this really cool, really chill strategy game. So again, just go to any of these games. If you want to play them, you're like, where do I find them? They have their own websites, like you see here, Aavegotchi.io. But really, just go to Aavegotchi.com and everything is there. So we have a game center that has every single Gotchi game right now, for the most part, all listed there and accessible with links. So you can't miss going to Aavegotchi.com. When you go to Aavegotchi.com, you also are going to see the Bazaar. That's our NFT marketplace. It's kind of what we nicknamed it a long time ago. And that currently still runs on Polygon, but we are in the middle of this migration. So we have good news. The Bazaar is making progress on its migration, and we expect it to go live on Geist here in the next week or so. So it's feeling like a November thing. And it goes to reason that would also happen when the NFT bridge opens, and we can start migrating our NFTs to Geist, including our Aavegotchis, our land, our wearables. All those things can come over and trade in the Bazaar on Geist. And I think that's going to be just a big improvement in UX, instant settlement. It's going to feel really nice to experience the Bazaar on an L3. But then in addition to that, it also signals that, okay, NFTs are live on Geist, the bridge is open. So we can expect a little thing called a Gotchiverse celebration, a Gotchiverse dance party. We're going to open up the Gotchiverse in 3D for the first time ever, try to pack the house, kind of stress test it, kick the tires, but ultimately just celebrate and try out some of these game features and game modes that we've been very busy building. So get ready for a proper dance party for the Gotchiverse at the end of this month, shortly after the NFT bridge goes live and the Bazaar is trading. So very excited about that. Now, another quick one, there's Gotchi Guardians, kind of Pixelcraft's flagship game. And there's an ongoing promotion that was supposed to finish this week, where you can actually download the game right now and go get the pirate skin. This is the Ghost Pirate Starter Pack, and it's available right now. And it was supposed to be unavailable as of now, but we're extending it to December 5. So you've got an extra week or so here to continue to take your time, get this. Don't miss this opportunity because it won't come again. This is really our inaugural skin. This is the first skin. And eventually you'll have it where these skins for Gotchi Guardians, we want to make sure that they're compatible and play well with the Gotchiverse. So you'll be able to be even more unique as you run around the Gotchiverse. So very, very cool to see the Ghost Pirate, and glad to get you guys a little extra time with that. It's not just the skin too. It's worth pointing out here. You can see you're going to get XP for your game. That's going to get you up in the matches, get you leveling up right away. You got your avatar, your frame. These are all things that go into your Aavegotchi player profile. And so again, customizability and a great skin to go with it. So yeah, a little more time there for everybody if you've been dragging your feet on that. Now,
yeah, it's a good looking skin. So it's such a good looking skin.
Yeah, it's super cool. I got mine the other day and super happy with it. And All I can say on the Gotchi Guardians front is they're really working on probably the last major change to the game loop, like the core gameplay. There's actually one piece that Jason Slama, the director, has identified and has been very busy working with the team on for the last, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks, really ironing out a major improvement to the early part of gameplay here. So if you've been following this game, if you're interested in tower defense, you're going to really enjoy some upcoming releases. I can't spill all the beans yet, but it's getting better every day, and I'm super excited for this next release on Geist. This will be the first Geist release of it. It's coming up very, very soon. There's a lot of things coming soon to Geist. Do you have any more, No Future?
Yeah, we are currently still working on the Geist Encounters week 4. So with that, there's going to be, we also have that announcement of Gotchi Points, which is going to be coming sometime this week, which will be a lot of fun. You can, with the most recent encounter, you're going to be playing around on the test net and just basically doing some spins of the wheel for the test net. Let me just look up this thing real quick. Sorry, my computer's acting very weird.
Yeah,
so Encounter 4 is live with 3 tasks, and you're going to claim your testnet, Alchemica, and spins. So we know that soon we're going to have Alchemica on Geist, which is going to be huge. You're going to need that for Gotchi points. You're going to burn some of that testnet Alchemica to earn Gotchi points, and then ideally earn at least 2,000 Gotchi points from spinning the Gotchi wheel on testnet. So get your little ghost arms practice and ready for the eventual launch of the Gotchi points by participating in Encounter 4, which is live right now.
That's right. That'll be good. So you can start practicing burning your Alchemica to get Gotchi points, doing all of this over on the Polter testnet. And the spinning wheel is live. The Gotchi spin to win wheel is live, but only on Polter. So that's a great place to start risk-free and start earning Gotchi points via these spins. So, to recap, Gotchi points is a recently announced campaign for everyone coming over and wanting to do some play to earn and experience Geist, for members only, of course. So this is the first kind of rewards campaign for Geist members. And so you can get started now. If you feel like you're missing out, you can still go back and do the first mission, second mission, third mission. And now we're starting mission 4. But that won't always be the case. So, that window's closing, but you've got it open for now. You should take advantage. And enjoy exploring our test net. And then when things ship to the main net on Geist, you're ready. You're ahead of everybody. You know how to do it. So there's going to be leaderboards, competitions for these points, and it all ends in a TGE at the end of the first 3 months of this campaign. So again, just a quick review. You can see here, when you earn the 4 Alchemica tokens, you can then come into the game here and actually burn them. So that's the first way to earn Gotchi points, is literally burn your ERC20 Alchemica tokens for a fixed rate of Gotchi point rewards. And you can see those rewards ebb and flow day to day. Gotchi Gang always has a party together on Saturdays. And so you'll notice that the maximum points peak during our parties. We've been hosting those for 3-4 years. I think No Future, you credit given, you kicked off hosting those of your own gumption, and they've been going ever since. So why not have the most points available during that party? And so it makes it even more of a party. So that's the first strategy, is get some Alchemica and burn it. The other one is to play the games, and you earn badges, and those badges give you spins. And you can see here, if you've got your spins, you can use those at any point to go and get some more Gotchi points. I'm back. Quick review of tokenomics here. And this is a lot of stuff we went over last time, but obviously Gotchi points will become a Gotchi token that will be used as kind of the first culture coin. You can call it a meme coin if you want. It's going to be live on Geist. The first token natively minted on Geist as a ERC20. So super excited for that. Like I said, this all starts now. The first leg of this campaign concludes 3 months later with the TGE, the token generation event. and then carries on for, actually, it's an 18-month campaign of Gotchi points. So if you're still farming Alchemica on your parcels, you've got a lot of time to extract those Alchemica from your Gotchiverse land parcels and continue to shovel them into the kiln and convert them to Gotchi points. That said, it's not mutually exclusive. You have your right to do anything with these ERC20s. And while we will be migrating a lot of the Gotchiverse gameplay and recipes for crafting into Gotchi, that's not to say that Alchemica will be completely useless, but it's going to be more of it is going to be wound down. So the main utility is to get you more Gotchi, right? Because a lot of the crafting will take place with Gotchi as the base recipe ingredient. So yeah, that's the quick summary on Gotchi points. It's live now on Polter, and it's going to be going live tomorrow on Geist. So we talk about this. This is actually a big deal, right? This is like, we're on the cusp of kicking this off. And if you've got Alchemica currently sitting on Polygon, you want to be looking out for the bridge. We're going to be opening up the Arbitrum bridge support and expanding it so that you can bridge your 4 Alchemica tokens over to Geist. And that's where you'll be able to do all of this burning. So we're trying to, by tomorrow, have the bridge. Oh, I muted myself. Okay. We're going to have the bridge open with Alchemica support. Goobs, do you have a picture of that bridge and a website to throw up? There we go. 426. So here's the Arbitrum bridge. It currently supports Ghost from base to Geist. You can do that right now. And just go to bridge.arbitrum.io. And when you go there tomorrow, by then I expect us to not only be supporting Ghost, but also FUD, FOMO, Alpha, Keck, the 4 Alchemica tokens, and the Glitter token, which eventually will have some things to do with Glitter on that as well. But yes, for the Gotchi Points campaign, it all kicks off this time tomorrow with the bridge open, and you can start lighting it on fire and earning your Gotchi Points and climbing those leaderboards. So I look forward to seeing you all in the competition. And if you want to get started, just go to Aavegotchi.com, connect your wallet or a social, log in, and you'll have a user profile. And then once you have that profile, you'll be able to return to Aavegotchi.com tomorrow and start burning. Goobs, do we have any more images of the UI for the burning? We showed a bit of it there. I don't know if we can give people a preview of what they should expect, but this will also all be going live, where it almost looks like a swapper, but you're just swapping, like, say, FOMO. You say max all my FOMO and burn it for X amount of the Gotchi points. It will tell you what you're going to get at today's rate. So.
Yeah, and that's why this current encounter that's live number 4 is great, because you get to practice this. You'll be able to go and kind of work through the process of grabbing that testnet Alchemica and spins and burning it for testnet Gotchi points, so you can get ready for the big day and know exactly what you're doing. So that's really cool.
Yeah. This and here you can see exactly what you'll be getting into. And there's always a points limit for a season, so you're kind of keeping track of, making sure you get in before it's all given away. So very excited to kick this off. It's been a long time coming, and it's kind of people ask why, and one of the big reasons is from a liquidity perspective. When you're in crypto, you got to think about these things, and what we've obviously seen develop ever since Alchemica came out 2 years ago is fractured liquidity. So one of the goals here is to not just have a simplified, consolidated UX for Gotchiverse gaming, but also just to fix the fractured liquidity. Instead of having 4 different trading pairs for these 4 different tokens, we can focus and get deeper liquidity around Gotchi. And so I think Gotchi will have a lot of cool use cases outside of the Gotchiverse. It's not a Gotchiverse specific token, and yet it will have a great, we're embracing it for the Gotchiverse build. Okay, cool. So that's definitely something to be aware of. We'll see you all at the Gotchi Points campaign. Now, the other big one going live this week is Camelot Dex. If you guys are in the Arbitrum ecosystem, you already know Camelot very, very well. But if you're not, no future. What's Camelot to you? And maybe we got some visuals to throw up here, Goobs, about Camelot, so people can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, Camelot to me is like the Uniswap of Arbitrum. I'm able to go and basically make my swaps and use their decks over on Arbitrum. So I used Camelot on Ape Chain, smooth experience. These Orbit L3s are super fast. So being able to go and use a DEX natively on the L3 and get these fast swaps, I think is going to be a game changer, especially once liquidity starts to come onto the chain.
Yeah, you can see here they have over 75 partners. There's the Arbitrum Orbit chains, which Geist is a part of. And we did a space with some of the Camelot guys not too long ago. Here we go. What's this? And the socket guys as well. And they talked about the power of Orbit, right? And it's once you grasp it, you realize bridging is going to never be the same. Like we'll be able to communicate with whether it's Ape Chain or some of these other gaming Orbit related chains. And you don't even really bridge. It's just like, oh, you have value on that chain. We recognize it on our chain. And so you can make that purchase or execute that transaction as you wish. So it's going to go both ways. It's going to be quite powerful. And we get to plug into all of that liquidity this week. It starts this week. So we're deploying on Geist with Camelot. And we will see an announcement about that in the next 24 to 48 hours. So things are heating up. And we're starting to see some dApps come online with Geist. So they'll be supporting Ghost, all the Alchemica, Glitter, USDC is already supported. And I think it's going to get really interesting as this migration rolls out. We'll be able to get the community and the DAO having some influence on other tokens that we'd like to see bridged or supported on Geist. And so I've had a couple conversations with some different developers and people wanting to deploy their own dApps on Geist. And it's always interesting which tokens that their ideas already work with or they think could work well with. And so just looking forward to seeing a growing variety of tokens live on our layer 3 blockchain. So that's big. Camelot this week. The Gotchi Points campaign this week. And the Bazaar, our NFT marketplace, going live on Geist very, very soon as well. So there's 3 big ones here over the next few days. All right, do we have any questions coming in or any comments at this point? I see people saying, send those Knights. Oh, we got to show a preview, reveal the next major mint in our kind of, we have like this ongoing series of memorabilia for Geist's inaugural.
Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah, this one's a little Halloween-y, honestly, but it fits perfectly with the Camelot aesthetic. So get ready for this to go live. We'll be doing a open mint, and I believe it's going to be a little bit different than the first one we did on launch day of Geist, in the sense that one was an open edition, and you could mint a lot. And I think we had over 2 million of those minted so far. Haven't checked the stats this week, but it's probably at 3 million by now. People went to town on that, and we'll see with this one. I don't think it's going to be quite the same in that respect. So you want to get in and get one, and add it to the collection. Super excited to see this one going live. It's gorgeous.
And this one, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first members only mint, correct?
Well, that's exactly, you said it better than me. That's the big difference. So the first one, we wanted everybody to be able to mint it. Everybody come check out the chain. But if you've been following along, you know that Geist is a members only blockchain, the first of its kind, addressing multi-accounting, botting, all that. So the first, it's ironic that the first one was open to everybody and unlimited in every way possible. And now we're bringing it in and we're going to have a compare contrast with this mint, where it's like, no, this one is for the Geist members. So be ready for that. And it'll be kind of opposite sides of the coin in that respect. Yeah. Love that. Got to get that one. Cool. I think that's the main stuff you need to know this week. I'm just looking through show notes here. You know, we're going to be spinning the Gotchi wheel soon. Camelot, all this good stuff. So the market's on fire. I know people, want to see the hard building of the gaming sector take off, and you know how crypto is, right? It's like it comes in waves, and attention spotlights go over here and then they move over here. But I'm just confident that what we are building is so true to crypto, and yet also like expanding and pushing the limits of what's possible with the on-chain aspects and being early to layer 3. I think Gotchi and Ghost and Aavegotchi ecosystem is going to be just fine during this new era we're entering. So we're ready to accelerate. It seems like acceleration has kind of been the theme across crypto and technology and just culturally here recently. And I think Aavegotchi's always shared that kind of vibe. So we're gonna fit right in. I mean, look behind me. I got my little Gotchi in a spacesuit there. So he's ready for Mars or wherever we want to go. So yeah, that's kind of the summary, and maybe we could end with a little preview or update on Gotchiverse itself. I just came out of a meeting. We did a team-wide play test again for the latest build. We've been like squashing bugs, performance enhancing, all that kind of stuff. And this here is probably the first time we've publicly shown what we're trying here. This is District 43. We're not in District 1 anymore. A lot of the stuff that we've shown in the past is District 1, which is more of a curated overworld map kind of place. This is literally verbatim pulling from the old school 2D Gotchiverse, the raw mathematics of it, and it hasn't been beautified yet. It's there's animations, there's a lot to add, but it should kind of feel like, oh, that's that raw desert of a Gotchiverse that I knew and loved from a 2D version. Now compare and contrast that work we're doing with D1. Obviously, this is like if it was a coloring book, D1 is colored in, and you see we're finally at a point where we can have multiple Aavegotchis in the world, and it's not laggy, it's playing nice, and everybody's got good frame rates, and everything's kind of working. So we're ready when that bridge goes live. We can all hop in here and have a kickoff celebration. We'll be partying in District 1 with an open edition mint. When you go in the Gotchiverse, there's a good chance if there's a live event, a sanctioned event, you're going to leave the Gotchiverse with a new NFT drop, basically, usually NFTs. And then when we get support for ERC20s, you actually be able to go in that world and pick up various tokens. And so we were talking earlier about like if other tokens bridge to Geist, what I think we have as a unique advantage over many other projects is we have our own L3, we have our own NFT marketplace, we have our own IP. This stuff should all strength lead to strength. They should all tie together in a way that really nobody else can do. And so, you're going to be able to go in the world and play to earn. Maybe we bring over some meme token from Base, our friends at Base, and you're actually able to pick those up at an event sanctioned in the Gotchiverse. And so we can do a lot of partnership outreach. We can collaborate with communities that share our values, and we can also share their tokens. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be on chain. You're going to be leaving with NFTs and ERCs, and having a good time here. So can't wait to kick it off, have a proper party. But that's a sneak peek of where we are with the development of that.
Yeah, it looks great. The the beautified D1 with leverage leap. I saw that little nod there.
Play it again, Goobs, so we can see. I'll try to narrate a few areas here where you can ask any questions if things jump out at you.
So what's this that we're seeing? Like this patio area that he just scrolled by?
Yeah. So currently it's a beautiful open air diner, as you would expect. But eventually it does have a quintet, some music. So just like on the Titanic, there's space for some Gotchis to play the violins. It's probably the most romantic spot in the Gotchiverse right now. So if you ever want to have a metaverse date, we've got a spot for you to do that. And here you can see we're on the roads, kind of those purple areas are roads where you can run double speed. This is Leverage Leap, which is like an area that's kind of an ode to the Ghost token and to the bonding curve. So if you guys know your Gotchi lore, that's basically the bonding curve writ large in our world. And then there's some nice green spaces, areas to gather. We've got local chats. So we call each of these like kind of zones as a landmark, and each landmark has its own chat zone. You can follow friends, you can do all this kind of thing. And that's not water they're walking on. We're not that special, but we are floating above Alpha as ghosts. So next best thing. We can float on Alpha. And hopefully our bags also float on Alpha. So that's a preview of what's coming there. And I think it's really great because it is a game. There's going to be as we get into next year, it's built in such a modular way that we can like spin off to do, very degenerate competitions, like winner take all crypto type of events. It can be very interesting. We can send people to the battle royale that we call Spirit Force Arena, so you can hop out and start playing those kind of battles, gambling for ghosts, not gambling, but competing, I should say. Or you can do other things like puzzles, RPG, dungeon quests. Those are all on the list. So there's a lot of things that this setup we're kind of perfecting now we'll be able to expand into as we go into next year. So it's going to be like, it's a metaverse, but it's a crypto-centric metaverse. You're going to know we're literally ghosts living inside of a blockchain. And that's the goal when you spend time in the Gotchiverse. You should come away feeling like that. Great. Well, I don't see a lot of questions this week. I think everybody's just suited up and ready for game day. They're ready to burn some Alchemica. Let's get the supply reduced. Let's get the demand up. Let's get Gotchi points flowing into the leaderboard. And then we'll go from there. And we'll start trading stuff on Camelot and just having a grand old time. No Future, did you have any other things that are on your radar with the Aavegotchi ecosystem this week?
Yeah, I'll jump real quickly into some of the DAO stuff. Also, for Dropped, they did release some new game modes. They haven't tweeted about it, but if you jump into the Play Dropped Discord, you can get more information about the new play modes that were launched recently. All right, and then we'll jump into a quick DAO recap of some of the SIG props and core props that are active or have recently passed. So currently we have one that will end on November 23rd. This is defining the DAO director's term lengths and process for future elections. Currently it's 95% yes and 4.65% no. It's reached quorum, so this will be moving to a core prop assuming no one changes their votes. We'll see that end on November 23rd, so it'll be sometime next week. The next one up we have is enabling collateral withdrawal from Aavegotchis without sacrifice. This one did meet quorum and ended, so it will be moving to core prop with 94.6% in favor of ending the collateral withdrawal. Which means that we'll be taking those interest-bearing A tokens out of the Gotchi. We give you the option, and then down the line there will be some new mechanics built in with that, potentially for Ghost, and all that's still being discussed. But keep an eye out for that core prop. It should be coming up in the next couple of days. It just ended actually today.
Let's flesh this one out a little bit because it's from Coder Dan, Aavegotchi Summoner, and it's got a lot of thought behind it, and it's going to affect people that own Aavegotchi NFTs. So just to say it's I think a really good decision because we are a 4-year-old project, and a lot of the idea of the Aavegotchi as a piggy bank you can put ERC20s inside of is quite powerful. There are not a lot of NFTs that do that. We pioneered that years ago, and it ended with the partnership with Aave. That's why it's Aavegotchi, right? So there's a lot of tie-in here if you're not aware of. And we love earning interest inside of our Gotchis with our A tokens. But a lot of them, Aave, I believe the first layer 2 they went to was Polygon layer 2. And so a lot of those tokens have no liquidity or just cannot be really used anymore. Like we literally deployed our own bridges before Aave did for those A tokens. I don't know if you recall. So it's kind of like messy. And so it's going to be really nice with Geist to have a clean slate and reimagine what we can do with these NFT piggy banks. And so I'm looking forward to seeing some Ghost staking or some other really powerful ways to lock up tokens that we want to lock up inside of our Aavegotchis. And you think about it, we've always had this kind of tension or competition between our own NFT ecosystem and our ERC20 Ghost token ecosystem. And sometimes there's a misalignment there, like one goes up, the other doesn't, people aren't happy. I think this is going to go a long way to aligning those incentives because you're going to have your Aavegotchis literally filled with balances of Ghost token inside of them. Now, I'm getting a bit ahead of this proposal here, but this proposal sets the stage for those types of staking initiatives and other gamification to be even possible. So we could put multiple ERC20s inside of one Aavegotchi. It does not have to just be the Aave A token. And so, yeah, very excited for this one. I think it looks like it's going to pass handily and then move to core prop, which means a couple weeks from now it'll be official if all things go as it's looking like it's going to go. So I'm personally, just trying to clear up what this one means for everybody, and I think it sets the stage for kind of a clean slate for Aavegotchi Zeitgeist.
Yeah. Also, the idea of unlocking that liquidity for the user is going to be cool. I have 10 Aavegotchis with Bitcoin, Aave, and different stables. So it's like getting that back. I can go shopping and get maybe some new wearables for my gotchi. So it feels good.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's also unlocking liquidity for you, yeah, which is something you want to do during a bull market, right? You might have some moves to make. So, good point.
Yeah. Okay, up next we have AGIP 136. It's Aavegotchi X the Sandbox, the maintenance and renewal and termination. This passed 7.51 million ghosts. It's already the end date is November 24th, so you could still vote on it, but it's met quorum with 74% of people saying yes and 10 million votes in so far. So definitely take a chance to vote on this if you haven't. It's looking like it's definitely going to pass. We're going to be funding a little bit more of that sandbox maintenance. Up next, we have the Gotchi Greeters V2 proposal revised. This one is to fund the Gotchi Greeters for another year of IRL assistance towards the protocol and the DAO. Currently, this one is also past quorum with 60% voting yes and 3.6 million for no, which is 39%, like roughly 40%. It's definitely past the differential that's needed to pass. So this one will end November 26th. You still have time to vote before it moves on to a core prop. Lastly, we have the renewal and election of DAO facilitator roles. This one is a resounding yes so far. 6 million ghosts, or 94.26% of voters voting to start a new renewal and election of the DAO facilitator role. For context, I am actually part of the election. I'm one of the 4 people, with the 3 current hosts who have been killing it the last 6 months also on the ballot. So this one closes on November 29th. You have 9 days left to vote, but it's on its way to quorum, 6.4 million out of the 9 million. So make sure you go and get your vote in if you want to have people still hosting the weekly DAO or DAO meeting, as we call it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a pity if that didn't continue. It's always been such a glue for the community and a way to really move things forward, because Aavegotchi is a sprawling ecosystem, and so we need those points to get together. And I don't think the Gotchiverse is going to replace anything that you guys do and we do on our Saturdays with the DAO Hour. It really can't. They could augment each other and work really well together, but we need to keep this going, and we need hosts. So hope we see more DAO facilitators. Quick there, I see Gotchi Battler saying GM. We always love to hear from Gotchi Battler. That's the Idle Battler game, the kind of premier one for Aavegotchi. They are very busy. They've been prepping their next big tournament, so worth calling that out too. You just need a Gotchi or 2. You can rent the rest, you can borrow them, but you build a team of Gotchis and then join this Idle Battler, and there are significant cash prizes, ghost prizes, because it ties into our rarity farming. So I think this season that is about to be ready to go live is 100,000 for each. We're going to do 3 tournaments of 100K each. Last I heard, that's significant, and all you gotta do is show up. So looking forward to that, and Battler will probably have more news to announce somewhere around this time next week, I imagine. So be on the lookout for that and have your Gotchis ready. But very excited for their stuff. And I saw a little preview. I'm not gonna lie, their next version is looking pretty sick. They upgrade season to season, so I think this next version of Battler is definitely the best yet. Super stoked for that.
Also, friends, make sure to follow the Gotchi Battler account. That's at Gotchi Battler. They're doing a Gotchi showcase, as you can see on the screen. This Gotchi that they're showing, Felon, is an OG. I remember having some fireworks on the rarity farming leaderboard, like back in season 2, I think one of the rounds where he flipped up and took the crown. This Gotchi is epic. 938 BRS, Lazio Gotchi, like old school with the little pump threads, like so. Just a great looking Gotchi, OG out there, just always on the leaderboard for rarity farming top 5. So yeah, you're going to see more of these showcases and highlighting some of the best and greatest, rarest and most expensive Aavegotchis out there. So yeah, definitely follow the Gotchi Battler info Twitter account so that you can get more info and also stay abreast of when these tournaments go live. As always, you can find out more information on the Aavegotchi DApp for any of these games.
I remember what you're talking about. I think it was the second season of rarity farming, and there's a snapshot. So the rarity farming, you dress up your gacha, you get its rarity score as high as possible, and then we take a snapshot, and then rewards are disseminated across like a 5,000 gacha leaderboard. And I think it was like moments before the snapshot, and this is season 2. Like nobody had done this before. He dressed up, the owner dressed up the gacha and upgraded it to the best version of Felon. Right before the snapshot, and ended up stealing, I think, the number one position. So the name Felon, we all joked about, was kind of appropriate for that sneaky last minute play, hardball. So yeah, Felon's definitely got some history. And if you follow Gachi Battler, they've been showing off a lot of these like classic gachis. I agree, Internet Phase, the gachi, a bit partial, but hey, we've got so much going on with these gachis. And for those tuning in that don't know, unlike an ape or most of the NFTs you see out there, these are actually 100% on chain. So like the artwork is not stored on an Amazon server somewhere that the NFT calls, but it's actually an SVG, super small graphic files that can be read straight from the contract. So these gachis are built to live forever. They live as long as the chain lives. So on a technical level, on an aesthetic level, I think Aavegotchis are in a league of their own, and quite unique about that. So yeah, that's kind of a good wrap up, a good summary of the week. It's always breathless. There's a lot of things going on, but if you need to focus in on just the big headlines this week, let's summarize here. We've got a lot of migration stuff happening with Geist. So you can go to playongeist.com. You want to bookmark that. That's where the new mint is going to go live. When you get that new Camelot mint, that's to commemorate Camelot decks going live on Geist. You're going to be able to mint that at playongeist.com. And then, you're going to be able to, you're going to want to get some invitations and get a membership if you want to mint this, though. So people are being very generous right now in the Aavegotchi Discord. I see Geist memberships, these membership codes being given away in a pretty generous way. It may not always be the case. So encourage you to hop in the Discord or go on socials and track down some Geist members that have invite codes, and get that invite code so that you can be a part of these early days. And another good way to do that and to benefit early is to join the Geist Encounters. So these are basically like our questing system for the rollout campaign now through the end of the year. We're currently on Geist Encounter number 4, but the backlog window is open to do all of them. So you got to hop in there and get started on those as well. So yeah, what a summary. Pretty excited for all of this, and don't have much else to say. I think we're in a good spot. Oh, here we go. We're also busy in Japan this week. We're with Arbitrum and our friends at Alchemy in Tokyo this was our second sponsored game night for the Arbitrum ecosystem. And people ended up joining a 32-person, wait, I'm mixing up my stories now. This is the Tokyo game night, which was a huge success. And we're going to do one more on December 18. Right there, playing Gachi Guardians dropped. You can see everybody's enjoying, and we're really interested in being more involved in that community and that market. Lost Local's been spending a lot of time in Japan, and we intend to continue to do that. So we're going to continue to bring the Gachi gospel over to Japan. And the other big tournament that we almost completely forgot to mention is a shout out to the YGG Summit happening. Our friends at YGG are hosting their annual event in the Philippines. And we were able to participate at organizing a satellite event with our friend Kobe, who was organizing this game tournament. And so there was a 32-person IRL event for Gachi Guardians. And so shout out to all the winners there. I heard there was a waiting list of over 100 people, but we could only bring in 32 to play this tournament. So there was a qualifying round, all that good stuff, and we were overbooked for it. So very, very cool. Glad to see, YGG and just the whole gaming community still so active, and whatever the markets are focused on this week, just know that gaming, what I see are very, very strong signs of of a nascent but fast-growing new gaming sector. And so, yeah, we're going to be a big part of it, and happy to see that event went so well. So shout out to Kobe. Heard him and his team organized just a perfect event, and no drama there. Okay. Unless there's more No Future, I think we'll call it here, and hopefully see you all this week using Camelot decks and getting those gotchi points. We're going to start burning our Alchemica this week, as soon as that bridge opens.
Yeah. Also, be sure to tune in on Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern. I forgot daylight saving times. 2 p.m. UTC for our regular Aavegotchi hangout, and then the DAO hour that follows after. We'll jump into the business of Aavegotchi and the DAO, and just have a good time talking, trying to sneak a little more alpha out of Jesse and Dan.
That's it. By then, yeah, that'll be our first Saturday hangout this coming Saturday, where we'll have the leaderboard live, and we'll have to take a peek and see who's climbing the gotchi points leaderboard so far in the first opening days. So thank you everybody for joining. Hope you all have a great week, and stay awesome. Thanks everybody.